Hello, my fellow Block of the Month sewers. We're excited to have you here for this video today. Hopefully by next month we'll be able to maybe get together, but until then we'll just keep doing it like this. So what we've got is you can come and pick up your block on Friday, May 8th from 3 till 5 p.m. and I'll just be in the parking lot. You'll show me your block, that it's finished, and I will give you a new block to do for this month. If you didn't finish your block, you can come into the store and pay and then pick up a block that way. Or if you'd like to just come in and shop, you're more than welcome to do that. We're open till 5 o'clock on Friday. So with that, let's get started with our block. This right here is what the block's gonna look like. This one's all the way finished. This is the brie. And so it's kind of a fun little pattern that makes that little pinwheel stand out. But here's our colors, and I just took scraps, so they're all different sizes, so hopefully you can see what your color wave is. This is the purple, this is A, if you didn't know that's an A, this is B, and that's C. And then you'll be able to find it on the pattern. And the same with the other A, B, and C. This is white, if you can't see that very well. And that's A, B, and C, the colored waves that we're using. So this is the purple, the brie, the Montague. And this is the purple, excuse me, sewn up. It's not all the way put together, so I can show you some different things, but that's what it's gonna look like when it's finished. So. Okay, let's get started. So in our pattern, it has, I'm going to flip this paper over so I can see. On our pattern, the A fabric, you are going to get 7 inches wide of fabric, width of fabric, and the B is going to be 4 inches by 22 inches, and the C is going to be 1.5 width of fabric by 4 inches. So what you're going to do from that is you're going to take your A fabric and you're going to cut it into strips that are rectangles that are 6.5 by 3.5. And with that you'll end up with 8 of this size fabric. With the others, with the B fabric, you'll have 4 of the 3.25 inch squares, and with the C fabric you'll end up with 12 3.25 by 3.25 square. Okay, so that shows what you're going to have. Now what you're going to do first is you're going to take your fabric, your B fabric, and you're going to take 4 of your A fabrics that you've cut there, and you're going to, what we're doing is, this is all flying geese. And we've done these before in different ways, but this is how we're doing it this time, just to teach you something new. So what I've done is I've taken my B fabric, I've drawn a line down the middle of it, as you can see here, and I am placing it on that A fabric. So the one thing that you want to watch out here is you want to make sure that you put them all on the same side when you do this. So I want to make sure that I have my 4 pieces and I've got my 4 B fabrics all on the same side. We don't want one over here and one on this side. You want them to all be the same so you can make your cute little pinwheel. So now what I do is I'm going to go to the machine and I'm going to sew just 1 thread stitch on the side of this, not right on the line. I like to just give it, put it over just a little bit. So like on this one, I'd be just barely to the right of the line there. And what happens when you do that, it just gives you a little bit more fabric when you fold it over, that you have more fabric to cut off and finish that edge really well. I know it doesn't seem like much, but you need to have a little bit just to fold it over. Okay, so I'm going to do that on all 4 of them so that I make sure I have them on the right side. Now that I've done that, I'm going to open it up, and I'm going to take my ruler, and I'm just going to cut off that extra piece there. Okay, so it's going to look like this. And then when I press it, I'm going to open that up, and see this, the seam is going to go to the corner of that flying geese. All right, so now that I have all of those 4 on the same top side, I'm going to take some of my other fabric, that is the fabric C, and I'm going to put this on the other side and draw a line down here. Make sure you do that before. You're going to sew just a little bit on the selvage part. You're going to do like 1 stitch above that, and then I'll sew that, fold that, iron that over, and then it'll look just like this, but almost. Then I'm going to cut that piece off again. And you can do all these at a chain stitch. Just make sure that you have the 4 colors like this. Once again, you put them on the same side so you can make your pinwheels. All right? So now when we get done, I'm going to have 4 that look like this one. That'll have one on each, a different color on each side. I'll have 4 like that, and then I will have 4 that have the same color on them, like this. All right, hopefully that makes sense to everyone. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this flying geese ruler. We've used this one before last year, and it's a 6 by 3, so our fabric is 6.5 by 3.5 because we want to cut it down, but the ruler, the finished size is going to be 6 by 3. And if you've used these kind before, they have like there's a little place in there that dents in, so when you put this on the seam, it just hooks on there like that. See, it's magic. So then I'm going to take my ruler and just cut around it like this. Then I'll flip it around and I'll cut the other 2 sides. Now, there isn't a lot of fabric that we're cutting off of these squares, so don't be stressed out if there isn't a lot of fabric. And if you go to cut it, and maybe you don't have enough to cut off on one side, there's a little bit less, then what you're going to do is when you take your seam, just allow for that little speck of fabric that's not there. Hopefully that makes sense to you also. Okay, so that's what it's going to look like. So I will have 4 that look like this, once again, and 4 that will look like this. So the flying geese ruler, if you want one of these, we can order you one. With the way things are right now, we've had trouble getting them in, so you can use that. Another thing that you can use is our, I have 2 more to cut for you. So the other thing you can use is the wing clipper, and we've been using this a little bit. My wing clipper got its wing clipped, but it'll still work. So let me just show you how to use this. So what you're going to do is find the 3.5 mark right there. That's the middle. And we want 6.5. So that's the size we want to cut that square or rectangle or whatever it is, block. So if you can see, I'm matching that X right there. And there's a little line. Let me put my glasses on so I can see it better. There's a little line that goes along here that I'm matching. So I'm matching the X and the line along there. And I'm going to just cut that like this. Now I'm going to flip it around, and this time I'm going to match it up. See, there's a little line here. I've got it on my 6.5 and 3.5, and that's how I know which mark right there I'm going to use. So I will just match that up. There's a line along here. And I will just cut it like that. All right. So then all of them are going to be just the perfect size. Let me do one more with this one. First of all, I've got to cut off this extra piece. Now remember when we did this before, we said that you can save this end and just sew down this, sew down here. When you open it up, you have another little square that maybe when you're finishing your quilt or something, you can use that. So you might want to save those. Okay, back to the trimming. I just want to do this one more time so you can get the hang of it. So I'm going to put it here, match that up. And if you can see on this side right here, see how I don't have a full 1/4 inch seam? I'm just going to go ahead and trim the top off. And when I sew that in, I'm going to make sure that I allow for that little bit that I missed because it didn't pull out just perfect. Except you guys, all of yours are going to be perfect, I'm sure. So now what I'm doing is I'm just going to match this up down here. Match it up with the lines. Can you see that? Then I'll cut this side off and that side off. Okay? And I didn't cut very much of those off at all. So the next thing that we're going to do is look at your pattern. And if you can see this one right here, if you take the pattern apart, what you have are 4 sections that look like this. So you'll have one with the same on the top, and then you'll have one with the 2 different sides on there, on the bottom. So all you do is make 4 sections. So I'll take this one and I will put the 2 sections on the top. I'm going to put those right sides together. Just double check it so when you open it up, it's going to look like that. Then when I sew this, remember how we do sew it on the side where you've got this little spot right there, because this is the tip that we want that to show. So I'm going to go 1/4 inch and I'm going to just watch and make sure I get to the very top of that and then finish out sewing that. And then when I open it up, it's going to look like this. Look how good that one looks. They don't all look like that, but that one looks good. So let's just focus on it. Anyway, okay, so you'll have those all put together. And then if you look at the pattern, you want to make sure that you have that pinwheel in there too. So each one's going to go a different way. And on camera, I can't do it correctly. There we go. And this one's going to go this way. So that's what we've got, is a little pinwheel that's right here, and you've got your 4 little sections. So hopefully that works great and you guys can figure that all out. If you have any questions, Chris Ann will answer all of them. Okay, we hope to see you on Friday, and everybody have a happy Mother's Day, and if you, or make your Mother's Day special for her. So, all right, thanks you guys.